was the referee, and he didn't want to be here, so he became belligerent and abusive as a governor, ruler.
Right.
And so that's when you hear about in the book of Enoch when they say he was chained in Antarctica.
Mm.
And then they describe the topography that's under the ice.
Rod, who would Loki be associated with if we're using
Loki?
Yeah.
Loki is another name for Horus from a different culture.
From a different culture.
Mm-hmm. That's why he's an adopted son of the Ice Princess, adopted by Thor and father. Right? That means he raised by somebody that's not his actual father. But somebody who made a peace treaty with his mama. Because that's how Zeus ended up marrying the Ice Princess as a peace treaty in the lore.
Right.
Between the ice giants and the Olympians. Right? Now, the same story is an overlay for the daughter known as Skada, the air princess to the north. We know it as the story of Elsa. Frozen. Right? It's a nice fairy tale to tell the children. But it's the same story as the Ice Princess. The Ice Princess is Isis. Because her ice is, she's Isis, the Dame of the North.
Right.
The Princess of Notre Dame. Right? The young maiden, LaDonna, whose mother is Madonna, the Black Madonna, the Great Mother. So now they're giving you a map of how to locate the heirs if you the family redeemer, using the ancient lore and legends as the template. And that tells you how to capture certain energy. And it's all going back to a combination of technology and conjure. Used in tandem in order to be able to put us through our paces so that we can properly be punished for our sins, or by our sins, I should say.
Right. Rod, what's your we've talked a lot. We've done a lot of shows on the Anunnaki. There's so much talk on the Anunnaki on the internet right now. I mean, so much talk. I think you contributed greatly to that, and Billy Carson. I would say you and Billy Carson contributed greatly to all the talk on the Anunnaki. Within there was so many people before Dr. York. A lot of people talked about, but I'm just saying within the last years, I think y'all two talked a lot, brought a lot of attention to this subject on YouTube and on the internet. One thing I don't hear people talking about, and I had a show with a sister early this year, Flabrun. I don't know if you ever heard of the sister Flabrun. We did a show
Floorburn, yeah.
Yeah, Flabrun. Yeah, we did a show on the Lyrians, the cat-like people.
Yeah.
And so from what I understand, the Lyrians crossbred with the Syrians, and they're the parents of the Anunnaki. Am I correct? Is that how?
Okay, so she's taking you back before they came here. And that's also the story of the peace treaty that ended the war between the Syrians, which was reptilians, and the Lyrians, which was the cat people. In Egypt, we call it the House of Bast, the House of Sobek.
Bast being the cat-like people.
Yeah. It's also, Bast is under the house of Sekhmet, the goddess lion. All of these is telling you the same story, and they taking like pieces of it. But remember, you giving a noun to a celestial phenomenon so that regular people can grasp the concept of how it's played out as a play between people as opposed to opposing energies.
But Rod, we are celestial phenomenons and nouns, so it can be like that somewhere else. Celestial, like we're cosmic dust, but I'm a noun as well. I mean, according to, you know, we're a person, place, or a thing, but we're also celestial phenomenon. So you don't think it's like that in other parts of the universe as well?
Well, this is University Earth, where the bad kids turned it into a prison. So you come in here to develop your soul consciousness or to balance your energies. You have to learn how to find balance. And the balance that you embody begins to come out in your works. And this is the degrees in Freemasonry, learning the balance. It is the spheres in Kabbalah, right? From Malkuth to Kether. What's over Kether? Ein Sof, right? What's Ein Sof? Divine wisdom. Sophia,
right?
Mother's wit, the wisdom of the mother. So this is the same. It's the same energy description, and you have to figure out how to teach regular people using these tools. So we are celestial beings training in a simulator of three-dimensional fixed position reality. And since we here, we have to learn how to navigate this simulator in order to go on and govern higher energies more efficiently, because we've stabilized ourselves by finding the eternal balance. So you use yourself to explain the universe. Just the universe is using itself to explain to you who you are. You just don't want to hear it because the universe don't speak in the language of humans. It speaks in frequency.
Right.
And that caused you to have to pay attention. And you can't do that in the fast food culture because you got to hurry up and get there real fast. Right? Move, move, move. No regard for process. But the process of bringing people to an awareness has no time stamp on it. It take how long it take, because everybody don't develop at the same speed. But this is the graduation. So everybody that make it to this point, right, sentient and aware, move on to the next level of the game, which is the payout. We won, they lost.
Which story or celestial group you think best resonates, best describes who we are? Like who do we have genetic ties with the most when we hear about the Illyrians, the Anunnaki, the Syrians? Because I just heard about the Illyrians, and now I'm hearing about all the stuff about the Illyrians, and I'm like, damn, they was like the Guardians of the Galaxy, but people don't really talk about them like that. So which group do you
got to look? You can't. The human is a hodgepodge of different celestials, trickled down into the human being.
Right.
This is why being a composite of all of them makes us, their offspring, superior to any one of them. This is what they've been trying to keep. That's the great secret. Because they all gave a little bit, they gave us all enough to overcome.
Shit, right. Damn. That was deep. Since we got a wow.
Look, Fairkind did a whole speech on it called "We Are the Overcomers," explaining to you how we supposed to overcome the obstacle, face the struggle. Right. And then once you realize what you're here for, you start giggling to yourself because you believed all of the false narratives that all of the liars lied to you about, and you knew they was lying the whole time they was lying, but you chose to trust them anyway.
Right.
In the name of Jesus.
Mm. Yeah, some deep shit. Some deep shit. Rod,
Worst thing you could tell somebody is the truth.
do you I'm curious, do you practice grounding? I'm hearing about the importance of grounding with earth. Is that something you practice? That's probably up there with one of the most beneficial things we could do, huh?
Look, the earth communicates with us whether we accept it or not. And when we decay, when we go over to the other side, the physical body going to turn back into earth.
Right.
So the process of grounding, the earth energy is more stable than the lone human.
Mm-hmm.
In order to assist you in the stabilization of your own energy, by grounding, you get the assistance of the coach of the earth in stable energy. It's the same with trees.
I was just about to ask you, Rod. I just wrote down. I just wrote down trees just now before you said trees. Since you said we go back to the earth when we die, when we so-called die, are trees? Would you consider trees to be the souls of old humans that used to be on Earth? If when I'm looking at a tree, I'm looking at a dude that existed 10,000 years ago?
I wouldn't say a particular guy. They on a frequency. All trees are on the frequency that defines what a tree is.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So they can only come back on that compatible frequency.
Okay.
So it's the same with the humans. The human is the exception to the rule because through totem magic, we can communicate with the spirit of all of the lesser realms. They call them elemental spirits, but they the spirits that governs the elements that make the earth up. Mm-hmm. And that's the governing energy. And once you understand how the energy work, you can use it because you are no longer ignorant to the energy. The fact that you know how to use it allows you access to using it.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, man. This is what I needed tonight. This talk, Rod. This is what I need. Yeah, this is what I need. I know the people excited. We got about 3,500 people in the chat. It's a packed house tonight. I'm gonna get to some Q&A right now. I'm watching my son tonight by myself, so I can't be on here too long. But I want to put the brother before we get to Q&A. I see somebody asked about donating to Rod early. I want to put the brother's Cash App up on the screen right now so y'all can show the brother love. Hold up, y'all. It's SikApe. All right, family. We're gonna get to some Q&A real quick. Make sure you show the brother Rod some love for this. Wow, I mean, what a talk! What a talk tonight. The brother's Cash App. You can show love via Cash App. It's $ SikApe. That's SIKAPE. Make sure y'all show that brother some love, man, for this information. Give me some questions in the chat. We're gonna get to a few questions before we get. Shout out to everybody. I know a lot of people was excited about the show tonight, so thanks to everybody for tuning in. Make sure y'all share this. This is an important one. Let me see what y'all talking about in the chat.
While you doing that, brother Rich?
Yeah.
Look, the old ladies be calling me. They be like, "Yeah, I love when you be on Brother Rich show."
Oh man. Shout out to all the elders. Shout out to the elders.
They love for me and you to talk for some reason.
Yeah. It's it's a good vibe. It's authentic, good vibe. It's not a robotic vibe. It's not robotic. It's a real authentic vibe. Soul talk. We should call this soul talk. Let me get to a super chat question. Before I make sure you donate, Rod Hayes, Cash App, SikApe, $ SikApe, y'all. Let's get to this question right here, super chat. Is it possible that since we sit in the sand constellation, we are using Jupiter's archetypal energies?
That is a bomb question based on what we already talked about. And then you asked me about the Garden of Eden. In the Jewish lore, there's a character known as Lilith, who was supposed to be the first consort of Adam, but because Adam couldn't boss her around, they kicked her out the garden. Okay, now, she is supposed to be the most powerful of the beings created, right? You go to Ragnarok at the beginning, you remember that Thor threw the hammer at his sister, his elder sister. She catch it, and then she crushed it.
Right.
You already got to be worthy to pick Mjolnir up. She didn't just pick it up; she crushed it with her bare hand. In the Ragnarok, they called her name Helen. Remember, Helen was the matriarchal founder of Greece, who was usurped by the patriarchy of Rome and replaced. They call that beheading the god in the old text. So by switching her into a man, they switched gender roles to patriarchy. So the Jupiter energy is the energy of the gift givers, right? The bounty. But the Saturnian energies, what made me made this question take me to the Saturnian energies is because before this moon was here, we was governed by the moon of Saturn known as Lilith. And that's the time when Earth was known as Tiamat, and our orbit was in a different location closer to Jupiter than it is to Mars. Right? So all these energy frequencies is at work, and then you have this lunar energy that's the newest energy in the whole system. Right? So to give y'all some insight of what I'm talking about, it's a book called Our Mysterious Spaceship Moon. And then they got a part 2 to it. It's not a novel. It's a scientific research. It talk about a time before the moon. You can go on YouTube and look up, just type in time before the moon, and they gonna tell you how long the moon been there. Right? And then cross-reference that with the Dark Knight satellite. And then you'll see when you read the Vimanus Wars, all of it will start to line up.
Indeed.
It's those energies that they putting in the terms to explain to you the process of creation and where you at in the process based on the energies at work. So all of these energies is being used. Jupiter, Saturn, Lilith, moon. When the women learned how to control the lunar moon, that's when they was able to use the 3 days between the last moon and the first moon and tap into the Lilith energy. That's what you call the energy of the Dark Mother.
Shout out to Lance. Lance, did you get that book? I sent you a book, the Panics book. Let me know if you got that book, Lance. I sent it to you probably last week. Let me know if you got that book. Lance said, I think that's the same moon that was on the movie Avatar, the moon around Saturn.
I think he's right. It's because Avatar is also telling you about your ability to tap into the 4 elements. The only way you can be the Avatar is you have to master all 4 elements so that you can tap into the 5th, ether.
Indeed. Indeed.
Once you tapped into the ether, you tapped into pure spirit, Oregon.
All right, let's get to another question. These are some the chat. Y'all got some good comments, good questions. I'm loving the energy in the room tonight. Loving the vibe. Loving the vibe. Rod Hayes is back. All right. Let's get to super chat. For anyone who feels lost or without a purpose, Rod, is there any ways they can get in touch with their ancestors for that assistance?
Tapping into your ancestors, you first have to understand how they're going to talk to you. So you have to develop your perception so that you'll know how your ancestors are going to communicate. And they'll help you get through the most difficult times once you tap in. And most people, they want to tap into the ancestors, but religion got them scared to make an ancestral altar, which ain't nothing but a what you call a family photo array on the wall of ancestors, your grandfather, your great grandfather, like that. That's an ancestral altar as well, but most of us don't know it.
Deep. Let's get to the next question. Naeem Shabazz wants to know, do we have a choice what we come back as? Do we have a choice, Rod?
Normally we have a choice, but we normally come back as the highest form of conscious sentient being on the planet because we able to operate and tap into all of the lower frequencies at will once we learn the process. So it would make sense to come back as something less when you can communicate and experience it without becoming it. So we choose to come back as humans, but you do have some that choose to come back as other species.
Let's get to the next question. What's the symbolism to the horses running in blood in London? I just heard about that today.
Go to Revelations and it said, and the blood would be up into the horse's bridle. It's telling you a time. The white horse is the conqueror.
Right.
The black horse carries justice.